Did you get everything you wanted for the holidays? This is the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patti Hunt, your host on the RV Life Podcast. Well, do not worry, because today's show, we're going to share our favorite products for RVing and the services that we have out there for your favorite RVer. And we have some special discounts for everyone that's listening to the RV Life Podcast.
And if you're like Dan and I, we have a wish list. So if you want some of these things for yourself, that's okay too. On the top of our wish list is a new RV.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. After traveling full time for 3 years, there is no sign of us slowing down. And we definitely need that new RV. But we always have a wish list of things we need or just want. And today we're sharing some of our favorites with you.
Now, that sound means it's time for today's fun fact. The fun fact segment is brought to you by Open Road Resorts with 4 great locations. 2 of them are in Montana, 1 of them's in Idaho, and 1 of them's in Texas.
And for the fun fact, looking to 2024, an article by Outdoorsy said that RVing will still be a primary mode of travel. And the article stated it's because it's more affordable and it opens doors to a deeper family connection and the ability to explore more places while having the comforts of your home.
Well, I will tell you that I believe that RV travel has created a deeper connection between you and I, Patti, and the experiences that we have had and the people, especially the people that we have met. And I'm going to say that it's going to be more affordable to RV because you guys are listening to the RV Life Podcast, and we have discounts on almost anything that you want to buy for RVing. So it is a great, great thing.
Yes, it is. And we are so excited. Now, one of the things in our plans moving forward is Open Roads Resorts. As Dan talked about, Montana, Idaho, Texas. Well, we do have a plan this year to be in Montana and Idaho. And the owner, Chase Becker, who we had on the RV Life Podcast, amazing guy. He is offering our RV Life Podcast listeners a discount. So if you go to the show notes, you'll find the discount being offered by Open Road Resorts.
Now, we're going to talk about some more discounts, and this is going to really add up for you. Have you ever paid for a toll on a highway or a bridge?
Well, we've driven tens of thousands of miles over the last several years. So, of course, we have paid for tolls.
Today, we're going to let you in on the RV industry's best kept secret. Now, this was a secret to us for our first 2 years or 3 years, or I don't know how long we've been out here, but we've been out here for a long time. It's called Open Roads Innovative Tolling.
This product is incredible. It's a toll transponder that goes in your window and works in all 48 states. And if that's not enough, they're a concierge service that deals with any state violation that you may occur.
I will tell you what, this thing is only $25 a year, and we absolutely love it. We have it. It's in our window. It takes care of our RV. It takes care of our tow Jeep. They assign you a personal customer service representative. I mean, I've been on customer service calls up the kazoo lately, and I'm not talking to the company. You're going to talk directly to the company. Not only that, you're going to talk to your personal customer service representative. It's called Open Roads Innovative Tolling. It is the RV industry's best kept secret.
It is just incredible.
You're listening to the RV Life Podcast. Our guest today, Well, they are the products that we cannot live without. Or maybe I should say our life would be just a little bit harder if we didn't have them. We've been full-time now for almost 3 years, and today we're going to talk about the products that we say are must-haves for every RVer and every RV Life podcast listener. And we'll talk to the owners of several of the companies we're going to be talking about. We're going to dial in and have those come up.
We're so excited. This is a very different show, and Dan and I are excited not only to share the products and service we can't live without, but also very special discounts offered only to the RV Life podcast listeners.
Okay, now the first person that we're going to bring in today, and we're trying to call him right now. I'm going to turn that ringing off until he gets there.
There he is.
There
that
he
was
is.
quick. Hello, Dan.
So the first guest we're bringing in today is somebody named Dan Sobczak of Kracken Adventure Bikes. Dan, how are you doing today?
So you guys have the wrong Dan.
No, I do. Oh my goodness.
You do.
Who is this?
This is Dan from RV TV.
Dan from RV TV. Well, Dan from RV TV, you are live on the RV Live podcast right now.
Oh my goodness.
The date is January 3rd, and this is our first show of the year. So what have we got in store for the RV TV this year?
We have great things, actually. We are launching on Local Now, which is the biggest streaming platform out there. They're in every single market. They're on every new TV that comes out. So anybody that has a television with access to streaming can get Local Now. It has all your local stations. It's the Entertainment Studios, which is a massive, massive entertainment company owned by Byron Allen, the comedian. And we're partnering with them.
Well, that's
we're really
incredible.
excited about that.
Now, I know all the RVers that I talked to. I was talking to somebody last night about the show.
RV Unplugged.
RV Unplugged.
RV Unplugged. Yep.
So you'll be carrying that show next year. It won't just be, last year was just on YouTube, but this year it's going to be on RV TV.
Yeah, so we actually rebroadcasted it, not live, obviously, but this year, season 1 is playing now, and then they're going into production on season 2 just after the Tampa show. And that'll be like a 3 or 4 week production, and then we'll start broadcasting that over the summer whenever they, announce the exact date. So we're really excited to work with Todd and those guys, and really excited for that. It's going to be last year was a great, a great initial season, and this year is going to be, even better. So we're excited to be a part of that.
Well, that's wonderful, and we're looking forward to it too. Every week we were actually off the road at the time. We were at Patty's brother's house because Patty's mom was sick during the airing of that show last year. So we were there off the road, and we looked forward to it. It just made us feel like we were back out there on the road with everybody. Now, you have another show, another RV show, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on here. I'll cut it out later if I'm not allowed to say it. But you have a show that you're working on called RVers Got Talent. How's that coming along? I know that was just only in, getting ready for it.
Right, yeah. So we're going to be launching that in April, and we're really excited for it. We have some great guest hosts that are going to be a part of it, and I might even be reaching out to you guys if, there might be something.
Yeah, we'd love to come on that.
So,
sounds
awesome.
Good.
So we're going to be doing a lot of neat stuff with that. We're going to be just starting, the calls out for, contestants to start sending in, videos and submissions of their talent, and we're going to go from there. So we have a lot of cool things happening with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know that RVers Got Talent because you and I were at an event and we're sitting talking with a bunch of people. We were just having dinner. We were one of those banquet table, 10 top tables, and I said, "Anybody here got talent?" And this one young lady just barely raised her hand.
I got to say who it is. It was Allie, and she is the owner of Spacious Skies Campgrounds. She got up and sang opera, right?
She got up and sang opera in front of a group of 100 total strangers.
Yes.
We talked her into getting up and doing an audition for us, and it just rocked. So we're looking forward to that show because I know that there are RVers out there that have talent.
Yes.
And we're going to have a lot of fun with this show.
So exciting. So on the RV Life podcast, it's not only not scripted, but sometimes I push the wrong button. So glad, Dan, that you picked up. Thank you so much, and for giving our listeners the updates on RV TV. And we will have to catch up soon.
Now, you're going to be down in Tampa, right?
All right. I will be down there. Yes. I look forward to seeing you guys.
We'll be in the Freightliner booth again, which is right outside.
Perfect.
So we look forward to hanging out, maybe go to dinner or something. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
So an inside look at RV TV and the stuff that's coming up on RV TV.
Okay.
You're not going to want to miss a second of that. It's going to be great. A brand new television network coming out. And hopefully we're going to be a big part of that. So.
Yes. What a nice little mess up I made there. He's such a great guy. But now let's call Dan from Kracken Adventure Bikes. I'm going to give him a call.
Our second guest today now. Dan, welcome to the RV Life podcast. We just had this is a take two. Patti actually called a different Dan, but it worked out great because that Dan was from RV TV, and we just did an impromptu interview with him. So let's talk a little bit about your company. You and I met at the Jacksonville RV show last year, about a year ago, a little more than a year ago right now. And I have to tell you, we absolutely love, could not live without our e-bikes, our Kracken Adventure e-bikes.
Yes, I've got to jump in here because Dan's not exaggerating. Love. We love our bikes.
We really appreciate that. Yeah, it's almost our 1-year anniversary coming up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. But now tell our listeners, now I know we had you on as a guest on the RV Life podcast people can listen to, but tell our listeners now, how did you get started in e-bikes?
I actually was a customer, just like you guys. I was doing trade shows. We actually had another company where we had a t-shirt business. And I started doing trade shows probably about 10 years ago. And it solved the problem, is why I bought an e-bike. So I had a transportation issue where, especially in some of those convention centers, where you had to park like a mile away for vendors. So I actually bought an electric bike. I hooked up a cart to it, and I used it to drag all my material back and forth. It was quite funny because all the other vendors were offering me cash to buy my bike, because they saw my setup and they're like, oh, we need that too.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of how I got started. And I've dragged my little electric bike around with me in the back of my truck. It was a folding bike, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, there was just so much interest around it, because every time I took it out, everybody stopped me and they're like, where did you get that? That thing is cool. So it just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, maybe we should start selling some of these. So that's exactly how we got started.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, I have one of your bikes, and it is orange and black, and I get more compliments on this bike, how cool it is, what a great looking bike it is. But you and I talked just this last week, and you are changing the paint scheme on some of your bikes. And, it's like I used to have, now this is the Kracken Adventure Bike is our second e-bike. We had a different e-bike before that. I had a black bike with white lettering on it. I never once got a compliment on how cool my bike was. It was, oh, that's nice. Now it's like people stop me as I'm driving. Where did you get that? That is so cool. I've never seen anything like it, because it's bright orange. It's got black lettering. I just absolutely love the bike. But now you're changing the paint scheme. Let's talk about how that came about and why it came about.
So we've actually rebranded all of our colors. One thing that was a struggle on our end, and we have a decent sized warehouse, but where the challenge really became was, how do we stock multiple colors? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be like every other company out there where they have 10 different varieties of different colors. We wanted to get something eye-catching. So what we kind of thought about was just kind of blending some very unique color patterns into just one bike. And that's exactly what we've done. So probably in about 4 to 6 months, we're going to start getting those new models in for testing. We're very, very excited. There's a lot of really cool upgrades and features that we've added to those bikes, not only foldability, but portability, especially for our outdoor adventures, because a lot of them are tight on space, and I know that's a big deal. So we have different models that we're bringing on, all kinds of cool stuff.
That is exciting because our bikes are the orange bikes are the bigger, heavier, little heavier, but 60 pounds. Now I'm small and I'm not very strong, but I can lift it. They fit in our Jeep. But I do talk to people that say I need that smaller, lighter bike. So that is awesome. I am looking forward to it. Now, you talked a little bit about the options changing, and we know you're going to China in the spring to look at new models. You actually have this new model coming, right?
Yes, we absolutely do. We're actually going to be featuring on our 1,000-watt bike a brand new engine. So this motor that we're putting in this bike is supposed to outperform some of the top engines that are out there now. And those are actually featured in our new Mark Vs that we have on the website.
We got to talk about that. Wait, slow down. We got to stop and talk about this because I got to tell you, I've driven a lot of e-bikes. I mean, we've test driven a bunch of them. We've had a bunch of them. And I've got to tell you, your bike had the most powerful motor of anything that we have ever driven. And you're telling me that this new bike, the new Mark V that you got coming, is going to have even a bigger motor than that?
Yeah, it's more powerful. So a lot of companies out there, they've kind of jumped on what I call the Bafang train. And Bafang is a very popular name out there. They're known throughout the industry. The lead designer for Bafang left and started his own company. And as a direct challenge to Bafang, he has developed an even more powerful motor. Those are featured right now in our Mark Vs. So more towing capacity. You're actually going to be able to keep a constant 28 miles an hour top speed, even going up a hill. It's super impressive.
That sounds incredible. We love our bikes, but we got to ask the question for our listeners, and we get this question all the time. So we're going to ask you, why should every RVer have an e-bike?
Oh, it's a total game changer. It really is, for a couple different reasons. Number one, instead of having to get in your vehicle and go up to the store and go get supplies, or if you just want to go a couple spaces down and go visit a friend, I mean, it solves all of your transportation needs. No more gas. You're running on lithium ion, so it's all power. It's clean for the environment. And there's a lot of different uses that people really haven't thought of. And I know I get a lot of questions saying, can you get exercise on an electric bike? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Patty's got a great story on that.
Yeah. Yes. I got to just interrupt because we work with somebody that helps. I call her a health coach, but she's a health guru. That's a better terminology. And she helps us all things health. And I said, we're getting an electric bike. And she said, yeah, but I'm not sure you're going to get exercise. And after riding the bike and coming back, I said, look, I have pain in places I didn't know existed. So I'm definitely getting exercise, because there is that you could shut off the power. But I know if I go 2 miles out or 3 miles out somewhere, I could turn the power on and get myself back or get up that hill that I just am not ready for. So that question, I absolutely can testify to the fact that you 100% get exercise. So we're going to put you on the spot now and ask if you have a discount for the RV Life podcast listeners.
You guys are my absolute favorite. And the answer to that is absolutely. So, and for a lot of the listeners, we will be at the Tampa Bay Super Show, which is a massive gathering of, I think there was almost 80,000 to 100,000 people that showed up last year. We're going to be there. We'll have special discounts just for you guys. We will be in, I did grab the booth number. It is A61. It is in the Tico building. That's where we will be. We will bring lots of models with us. And that way, if you wanted to purchase one immediately, not only will we give you the discount, we're going to build your bike right there on the spot. You can take it home immediately.
Wow. Okay. So now, again, I'm pushing it. I'm always pushing it for my listeners. What about those listeners that aren't going to be at the Tampa show? You'll ship one to them, correct?
Absolutely. We do have the capability of shipping, and our boxes, we've just redesigned them. They are double boxed, and we have yet to have one that's been damaged in shipping. They have
Awesome.
really, really helped.
And I will tell you from firsthand experience, I have put together 2 of these bikes that have been, well, they weren't really shipped to me. You brought them in the back of your pickup truck and dropped them off of my RV. So I've put together 2 of these bikes myself because Patti was not with me at the time and you kind of did a drive-by drop-off. So I put 2 of these bikes together myself, and they are not difficult. As a matter of fact, we had a video. We don't have it there anymore. We had a video of Patti putting together her bike. It was very easy. Patti put it together. I will be doing a video down in Tampa so you can see everything about the bike. I do have a couple of videos about the bikes on our YouTube channel over at Exploring Through Our Lens. We'll put links to it in the show notes. If you are an RVer and you don't have an e-bike, you are missing the boat.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, the best e-bike that we have found on the market, and we have literally driven them all. There's not a major brand out there that we haven't tested, driven, worked with. And I have to tell you, these things are the best.
Yes. And I'm going to, again, push. So those people who want to order a bike online, you're still going to offer them a discount. You can give me that code. And for my listeners, like how I push our people to get discounts. So all of those codes will be in the show notes. And Dan, we appreciate you giving our listeners discounts on what we believe is one of the most important pieces of equipment that you need as an RVer.
And thank you for having a name very similar to Dan of RVTV, because we got a bonus guest today and got RVTV on the show as well.
Well, thank you, great, Dan, for being on. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you soon at the show.
We'll see you. Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, I just have to say, one of my favorite things of driving or riding an electric bike. We spend obviously a lot of time in campgrounds. We are full time and driving around some of these campgrounds. Now, for Dan and I, we do have the 1,000 Trails membership, and I do want to talk about that. But being able to get there, like we were in 1,000 Trails Orlando, it is huge. It's a
Where
huge
we are right
property.
Here. At Southern Palms, there's 3 different campgrounds here.
Southern Palms. So we get our electric bikes out and we drive around, and that's great. Now, let's talk a little bit about 1,000 Trails, a service we cannot live without. Sorry, there's no discount codes, but I am going to talk about Joe and Pat. This is a couple, and I call her Joanna because that's what I know her by. I am going to put her cell phone number in the show notes. They are membership specialists that really care about the people that we send them. They care about everybody, but I know when we send somebody to them, they're not going to be sold to. They're not going to try and upsell. They are just real people. They're listening. They're answering questions. And if the 1,000 Trails membership is right for you, like it is for Dan and I, these are the people you want to contact. And I can't say enough about our membership that has allowed us to afford to be on the road full time. So 1,000 Trails is one of those services. Sorry, no discounts. If you call Pat and Joe and tell them we sent you, they're going to give you some extra perks just for listening to the RV Life podcast.
But I'm going to tell you that while there's no discounts, I will tell you that dealing with a membership specialist like Joanna, she knows all of the discounts. If you just go online and buy a 1,000 Trails membership, you're going to pay more than if you go through somebody like Joanna, because she knows about all the specials that are out there and she can offer you some specials. And believe me, a sales organization like 1,000 Trail Sales Organization, they've got different deals going on all the time, depending upon what kind of membership you need. I will tell you that we, Patti and Dan, could not afford to be on the road the way we are on the road full time for almost 3 years now, if we did not have the Thousand Trails membership. And we didn't have it for the first few months. We didn't have it at all for the first few months because Patti would not let me talk to a salesperson.
That is,
And
I felt like it was a salesy. We're being totally honest and transparent. I felt like it was going to be a salesy thing. And my biggest regret, I say this with Thousand Trails, is not having looked into it ourselves sooner. That means calling a reputable membership specialist and not buying it sooner than we did. That is our regrets with Thousand Trails.
okay. Now I'm going to get to talk about one of my favorite products, and they are actually a sponsor of the RV Life podcast. So I'm going to start reading a commercial for Clear 2O. RV owners, say goodbye to unpleasant water taste and odors with Clear 2O Fresh Tank. Tank Fresh. Our innovative 16-ounce treatment ensures your water stays fresh and clean without the harshness of bleach. You just add 1 ounce to every 20 gallons of water in your tank. This is for your freshwater tank. It's that easy. And believe me, it's that easy. I've done it myself. It's that easy. Tank Fresh not only freshens, but also sanitizes your complete water system. Safety and biodegradable. It's made in the USA, and it's perfect for year-round use. Don't let bad water ruin your adventures. It doesn't ruin Patti's and mine because we use Tank Fresh. Visit clear20.com now and get your Clear2O Tank Fresh and enjoy fresh, clean water wherever you roam. Clear2O Tank Fresh, the clear solution for great tasting water. Now, Patti, I believe you have a discount code for Clear2O that you're going to put in the show notes. Is that correct?
We do. And even better than that, a little bit further in the show, a little later in the show, we're actually going to have Keith on, the inventor of this product, who's going to tell you what the discount is. But right now, I actually have Carol on with us. Welcome, Carol, to the show. Are you there?
Thank you.
Oh,
hey, Dan Patti.
Hi. Now, Carol is nice to have you on the show. For our guests, Carol is from Lido. She is the inventor, and that's luxury in the outdoors. And she has products that Dan and I are so super excited about. So, Carol, we're going to let you tell us one of the things.
This is one of my favorite stories in the RV industry that I've ever heard. And you told it on the RV Life podcast the first time that we interviewed you. But about the table, what do you call the picnic table right outside your RV?
Okay, so the table is what I call the heart center of the campsite. It's where you cook, you eat, you gather, you play games, you have nice conversations without cell phones ringing. And I think it's a really important part of the experience, and that a lot of our Lido products are centered around that idea. So, we have the wipeable tablecloth, we have lanterns, we have wine tumblers, everything to make that table experience really elevated, basically.
Well, I will tell you that we were recently in Texas at one of our other sponsors, the Dallas Northeast Campground, any campground of open roads campgrounds. And we have, I have a thing, and you started it, that when we pull into a campground, the first thing we do is put our tablecloth on the table. We put a carpet down outside. We make the outside our heart center because of Carol. And I will tell you that when the owner of this campground, Dan, came...
Chase
Becker from Open Roads. Dan was our last...
We're mixing things up here.
Yeah, too many Dans in this world right now. But anyway, when Chase came over, he sat down and said, "This is one of the nicest camp setups I have ever seen, because your tablecloth, not only is it a quality tablecloth, it was a little bit windy that day, And, normally when it's a little bit windy, what do? You get a bunch of bottles of water, you put them on the corners of the tablecloth to keep the tablecloth from blowing off. But no, you have built a little strap thing that holds the tablecloth on the table. I have never lost a tablecloth yet. So we use not only one, but we use two of your tablecloths on a regular basis here in the Hunt family, because we have the yellow one, which is my favorite color, and it is outside and it is set up all the time in front of our RV. And then we have the red and white one that we use as the tablecloth whenever we do a remote broadcast for the RV Life podcast. That is what we put all of our equipment on, the red and white checkered one. So, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the different designs that you have for your tablecloths?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's really nice to hear your experience that you've actually had your table elevated experience, So pattern wise, we have a lot of new patterns. And we have solids now, stripes, in all sorts of colors. We have, flowered patterns in yellow and seafoam green and blues. And we have a July 4th pattern. We have an all black. We have all red, all blue. We kind of have it all. And one of our most popular patterns is what we call the American Picnic, which is like a gingham style. And it comes in red, blue, yellow, green. And then we have what we call our elegant blue, which is a really sort of, I call my upscale look. It's sort of like more like a traditional, I would call it more of a French style. But all of them are, this waterproof oilcloth material, super durable, thick, and it will last for years. And it's a one size fits all. So most tables at the picnic at campsites are 8 feet, and this easily fits an 8-foot table. Even you can even push it to a 9, which is great because you get there and the dirty table becomes clean within 20 seconds of you putting your tablecloth on top. It's our main product, and we enjoy it ourselves when we go camping, which we plan to do tomorrow.
Oh, nice, nice. And I love the thickness and quality of these. I wipe it down. I just use, soap and water, wipe it down. They wipe down and they're built to last. But I have to tell you, Carol, I sort of have a bone to pick. We've got a problem because you sent us a sample, as we requested, a dog collar and leash that lights up. So it lights up, it'll flash, it is thick, it is durable, but we don't have a dog. And now Dan wants a dog because this is an amazing product.
Now, you know what? Do me a favor on social media, listeners out there, on social media, make a comment. Dan's got a dog collar, the coolest dog collar that I have ever seen. It's the best product in the RV industry for RV owners and pets that have pets. So I have a dog collar that lights up. I have a great leash that lights up, but I don't have a dog. So we're going to leave it to the RV Life listeners to decide, should Dan get a dog? And if I should get a dog, what kind of dog should I get?
Wow. Okay. So Carol, let's talk. We're still debating that one. So Carol, let's talk about this because it is such a great idea.
I literally go to our next door neighbors that have dogs and I borrow their dog so I can take them for a walk with our leash.
Yes, he does.
Well, there's a story behind the leash. So we were camping with some friends and, all our kids were running around having a great time. And it was the evening and we had 3 dogs on 3 leashes. Well, my daughter, who was little at the time, took a spill, tripped over the leash, scraped her knee, tears. And that's when the idea came to me. I was like, oh, we need a leash that lights up because it's really dangerous at night. Campsites are dark, which they should be, but you can't see where your dog is. And then you can't see where the leash is. And it's very easy to trip, especially around a campfire. I'm actually very conscious of anyone being around a campfire not tripping. And so we designed the long leash. So we have a 20-foot leash that lights up, which I think we're the only ones on the market.
That's one we have.
And then we also have a 6-foot. which is great if you just want to take a short walk around the campsite or in your neighborhood at night. And then we have matching collars in small, medium, large for different dog sizes, and people love them. And they're actually a real great for safety because whether you're in the city or you're camping, it's really good to always know where your dog is.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we like the long leash is because it allows your dog to walk around and be part of the family and not be stuck, close to whatever you tie them to. So it also gives your dog some freedom. And then really it's a huge safety factor. No one's going to trip over the leash because you can see it. So yeah, it is one of our most popular products as well. And I'm glad you like it so much, Dan. And I do hope you have a dog. And if you want a recommendation for a breed, I'm a little prejudiced towards golden doodles, which is what we have. And it's an amazing breed because they are really calm and smart and sweet, sweet dogs. So that's my 2 cents, Patti.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
RV Life listeners, you need to chime in on this. We're going to start a whole thread over there on the social media stuff. So we want you to chime in on this. We want you to talk to us about the pluses and minuses of having a dog for full timers.
Right. So, but wait, we want to thank you, Carol. And again, all of our people that we're bringing on, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you have a special discount for the RV Life podcast listeners?
For Dan and Patti, of course. For your listeners, of course. So the code is January 24. It's for the entire month. And if you buy a tablecloth, anything you buy in addition is 20% off. So you can buy one tablecloth and the second tablecloth is 20% off. You can buy a tablecloth and then buy a leash and a collar, and those will be 20% off, or wine tumbler. So yeah, that is a special. You just put in that code January 24, and then you can always contact us if you have questions. But yeah, that is just for the RV Life podcast listeners.
Thank you.
So, Carol, one of the things that I absolutely love about you and Lido is your unique camping experience. You have allowed us to have unique camping experiences, and it kind of goes through all of your product line, from the tablecloths. If you come and see anybody who is out there in the world, come to my campsite and look at this tablecloth. When you leave this, you will buy this thing, and you can get it for 20% off now. So you may as well do it. But I got to tell you, if you look at this, you feel it. It's thick. It's heavy. It's not like one of those scrungy little tablecloths that you buy for camping. I'm telling you, it's the best product for camping you have out there. It's a must-have for every camper. And then you have those little twinkle lights that you put on the tables. Oh my God, the lanterns.
You call them twinkle lights.
I call them twinkle lights. The
lanterns, yes. And so many great products. And people could just go to your website at Lido, LITO.com, correct?
I was going to say it's actually LitoLuxury.com, LITOLuxury.com.
We will have the link to that in the show notes if you want to go down and look for those. But, another product that Carol has the RV Life podcast has the exact same product, but I use Carol. So me personally, these wine coolers that say the tumblers.
Yeah.
She sent me a yellow one because yellow's my favorite color. She sent Patti a red one because Patti's favorite color is red. And we use them every travel day. They are full of whatever beverage we happen to be drinking that day. Whenever we have somebody over, especially when we have Chase Becker over and we're trying to negotiate a new advertising contract with him, we fill him up with the best possible wine that we can and get him drinking out of those Lido's tumblers. I got to tell you, they are really, really, and I love the way the top stays on and it doesn't leak. We have maybe 10 of these things in our cabinets here.
A lot of them do leak.
A lot of them leak.
Yeah.
Or there's a couple of them that are metal all over the place, and I don't like drinking out of them.
The top, yeah. These have a plastic.
But it fits right in there. It fits snugly. They don't leak. I can put it up front while I'm driving, and it fits in my cup holder just perfectly. I love the Lido line of products. It is one of the few stores that I could ever go to and say, I want everything in the store. I want one of everything.
And you've done a lot of that. We've gotten a lot of product, and probably still a lot more to get. I'm going to jump in on this sale price.
Yeah.
No, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it, because our product line really comes from the heart and from experience of camping, our personal experience. And it is really about elevating the experience so that people get outside more.
Yes. And we love that. That was your whole reason and mission for doing this. It's great. And we love connecting with people like you that really have the heart of what you're doing and why you're doing it into it. Because, people talk about how small the RV is and how cramped it could get, and which is true. But, having that outside additional space makes all the difference. So we just want to thank you so much for jumping on with us and offering the RV Life podcast a discount. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll be talking again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And Happy New Year, you all. 2024 is going to be a good one.
Yes. Happy New Year 2024. This is the first podcast in 2024, and it's going to be a fantastic one. Thank you again.
Thank you all.
Take care.
Talk soon.
Now, I got to say, we talked about unique camping experiences, so it leads me to Harvest Hosts. This is a membership that Dan and I bought early on, and all I could say is some of the most unique camping experiences ever, right? Ever. So it is
a loofah farm. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
We got to stay on I didn't know loofahs grew on bushes.
Yes.
I didn't know it.
On vines,
trees,
right?
On
There were vines.
Trees, yeah.
And then the lavender farm. I didn't know there were so many different kinds of lavender. The loofah lavender farm is the same place.
Yeah. How about how cute those alpaca are?
I don't think we ever got to see an alpaca.
We saw one when we were
from a distance.
Danny, yeah, from a distance.
Because
we drove right by that. Yeah.
Harvest Host has a lot of alpaca farms, and they are adorable. And we've been saying we're going to stop at one, and we just haven't gotten there this year. 2024 is our year to meet an alpaca. That's our goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the farm we stayed on in Pennsylvania, where they had rows and rows, acres and acres of apples and peaches and
that for Halloween they had a corn maze.
Oh my goodness!
I took the drone up over top the corn maze and looked down on it. That was great.
Just beautiful, and the people we've met have been amazing. Now, we don't have a special guest on from Harvest Host, but Harvest Host is offering the RV Life podcast listeners a discount, and that is 20% off. But Harvest Host also has Boondockers Welcome, which isn't always the unique type camping experience, but they have people whose houses you could go to. So we stayed in a driveway somewhere. And while that doesn't sound in Kansas so exciting, the people we have met have been amazing. One of our first experiences when we picked up the RV was a Boondockers Welcome. I'm not going to mention their names because I think that they have taken themselves off the
right.
Boondockers Welcome, but it was a house. They had full hookups for us, the most amazing people. They have now become our great friends. So
and their
Boondockers
son
Welcome
has a unit that is almost exactly like ours.
Yeah, so he's really helped us. So Boondockers Welcome, you could get Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome together or separate based on your needs, but you do get a 20% discount that will be in the show notes. And we can't say enough about them.
Boondockers Welcome, Harvest Host, some of the most unique camping experiences that we have experienced in our 3 years of full time. And we'll be back on the RV Life podcast right after this.
National indoor RV centers with over 1,000 motorhomes available across multiple locations. National Indoor RV Centers continues to provide an outstanding, hassle-free motorhome ownership experience. National Indoor is the #1 Newmar dealer in the nation and also features brands like Integra, Winnebago, and much more. Visit nirvc.com and become a part of the National Indoor RV Centers family.
So, as we said in the front of the show, we are looking for our next RV. And well, it may not be a brand new one. We want a new to us RV, and that will be purchased from NIRVC. Now, why are Dan and I using NIRVC? We meet all kinds of dealers, we know all the manufacturers. NIRVC has the integrity, the care, like truly have treated us like family. And it's not because Dan and I have the podcast. This is the way they treat people. So Dan and I will be purchasing our next RV, hopefully our last RV, from NIRVC.
I will tell you what, Brett, Angie, Chuck, the whole team over there at NIRVC, and they have 6 locations around the country, from Las Vegas to Washington, D.C. They've got locations all over the place. And I got to tell you, they have the inventory. And think about this for a second. I just want you to just close your eyes and think about this for just 1 second. I was interviewing the president of Newmar Corporation, and he told me that NIRVC is the #1 Newmar dealer in the country. Now, let me just take that to the next level. So then I'm interviewing one of the top executives. I have the president, right, at Jayco.
Correct.
I was interviewing the president of Jayco. And Jayco has a division called Integra, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful luxury motorhome. And I'll tell you what, he said to me, he said, they're not only the Newmar #1 dealer, they're the #1 Integra dealer in the country. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. I'm telling you, if you are looking for an RV, a Class A RV, I should say.
Well, they also have the vans
The
and
Bs and the Cs. Yeah,
Cs, Bs,
motorized
ABC.
RV.
Motorized,
Right,
okay.
motorized.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a motorized RV, you are going to want to talk to NIRVC. And their website is great. Every vehicle that they have in inventory is on that website. I am watching that website every single day. And believe me, there's turnover on it every single day. They're always selling. They're always buying. We will be with Brett Davis at the AIM event in Margaritaville
next week. Right?
Yeah,
next week.
I can't wait to sit down with Brett.
Yes.
We got to sit down with Brett in his conference room in the Dallas showroom. What a facility. They have a paint shop. They have a body shop. They have a chop shop. They even have a campground, a shop shop.
Chop shop.
Chop shop. They work on the engines. The shop shop works on the engine.
Oh, okay. That's
what I
new.
call it.
Okay.
Shop, yeah.
All right. Moving right along now.
But I got to tell you what, they just absolute incredible stuff that they have. So NIRVC, highly recommend them. You will save some money if you tell them that Dan and Patti from the RV Life podcast sent you in. They'll take care of you. Trust me, they will take care of you. Okay. Let's move on with our roadmap. So we don't have a script. We have what we call a roadmap for our show.
And sometimes we get off the road.
Yeah. Sometimes we get off the road. So we're going to move on with our roadmap by pressing the pink button that does this. And that sound means it's time for today's question of the week, brought to you by Open Roads Innovative Tolling. Today's question is from Andre and Val. They are from Canada, and they are actually camping right next to us right now. They're camping right next to us right now.
Let me get Keith in so he could hear the question because we want him to answer it. So,
Keith, you there? Welcome to the RV Life podcast.
I am. Thanks very much.
Okay, so Keith, our question of the week is from Andre and Val of Canada, and they are camped right next to us. We actually had Christmas dinner with them. We sat down
Yes,
at their
we
table
did.
for Christmas dinner. Is it safe to drink the water from my RV tank, especially after we winterized it?
We just
No.
thought this was a perfect question for you, Keith.
Yeah.
We're totally putting you on the spot.
We really did. We
Hope
didn't
you're
talk
ready
to Keith about this
No,
at
we
all.
haven't talked to Keith about this. Totally throwing you into it. So I'm sure you could answer that question,
You
right?
see the bus, you're under it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, with my 15 seconds worth of preparation, my answer is this. Once you've winterized the unit, and if you've used winterizing fluid, the answer is absolutely not. Obviously, that needs to be fully flushed from the system before you would drink any of the water. And it's best to sanitize after the RV's winterizing solution as well. But if your winterization process is just to dry your tanks, to empty them and dry them, then in truth, it's best to go ahead and still sanitize your system or use some type of tank freshener and to be able to do anything. Because what you don't know is that plastic is a breeding ground, and especially if you have warm days and cold days. So obviously, if you're with all cold days, that's going to be very minimal. But if you have warm days during that period of time and they're extended warm days during your winter, then that actually could be a breeding ground for things to grow. And you just would be better off being safe by either using something that is going to actually help to sanitize the tank and do the entire system for startup again, or if you are if you know that it's already clean and everything's good to go, then just use a tank freshening product to be able to continue to keep things from growing in that tank going forward and make sure your water is safe.
Now, Keith, let's talk real about this for a second. So you have a product, Clear 2.0 has a product that you just recently introduced, and it's called Tank Fresh. But it's really
That's right.
more than that, because it's a sanitizing product as well as a freshening product.
That's right. That's right. We actually have 3 different products, and they're for 3 different uses, but they carry the gambit of what you need to do to be able to keep your freshwater tank clean and sanitized, and to ensure your fresh water is clean and fresh to drink throughout your travels.
And I will tell you, a lot of people are listening right now and they're saying, I don't want to go through all that work. It's so hard. Guess what? It is not that hard. I mean, it's actually the hardest part for me was opening up that valve to dump the tank fresh in the tank of water that was in there. That was the hardest part for me because I couldn't get it open with my hand. I had to use a wrench. But other than that, it's just as simple as pouring this product into your freshwater tank. And I poured it in. Actually, Patti poured it into the what do you call that?
The funnel.
The funnel that goes into the hole that.
And it comes with the funnel, right?
Yeah, it comes with a funnel, right? It came with a funnel. So we poured it in there, left it in there for Keith. I think you told me to leave it in there an hour.
2, I thought.
That's right.
An hour. No,
That's one of the big difference. That's one of the big differences on our product versus some of the competitive products, or for people that use bleach as well, where you have to leave the bleach in for 8 to 12 hours for it to truly work. We really wanted something that's made easier, because we know it's not a task that anybody likes to do. So we'd like you to be able to do it relatively quickly, but make sure that it is fully sanitizing. And so we focus in on a product that can actually do it within that hour, and that hour time frame, letting it sit there for an hour and then flushing your entire tank. And that way you walk away with a clean and sanitized system. And our other products are freshening products, and you actually pour those into your freshwater tank and leave them there. There's no need to flush those out at all.
Wow, that's kind of cool. I will tell you, we had a nightmare when we first bought our unit, because we bought it. We went up to Colorado Springs to pick it up, and we happened to go up to Colorado Springs on the coldest day in the last 50 years in Colorado Springs. It was negative 27 degrees outside. And the people that we bought the RV from thought they were doing us a favor by putting that pink antifreeze solution in the freshwater and the black and gray water tanks, which was great for that. So they didn't freeze up, but they put it in the freshwater one. And well, it took us, and we didn't know you at this time. So we did not have Keith in our back pocket. We had the old guy at the campground that's been camping for 40 years at Lake Mead in Nevada. So we talked to everybody that we could talk to, and what we ended up doing is flushing this tank 5 or 6 times. So we had to fill it up, or 3/4 of the way fill it up. And then he told us to take it out and drive it and start and stop. So we smushed the water around in there. And we smushed the water around in there, and then we dumped it out. And then we did it again. It took us weeks, and Patti is very, very sensitive to the smells and the taste of those kind of things. So it took us forever to get that tank back. But now, after using Tank Fresh, I got to tell you what, you may as well just call our RV Sparklets, because I got to tell you, we have the best water of anybody in the neighborhood.
Right. Now, let's talk. Let's talk just a little bit about, you also have the filtration system, because while my tank is now fresh, we go into campgrounds all the time and hook up to a different water source. So we use the Dirt Guard and the filter inline. It's called the inline filter system, right? To make sure the water that's coming into the tank is now clean. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. The Clear 2.0 inline filter is really where we got started in the RV market, and it was by applying our solid carbon block, which is really the difference between Clear 2.0 and other products you see on the marketplace. So most of those are granular carbon. The water flows through them relatively fast, but ours is a solid carbon block, and it's been specially formulated to take out the heavy metals, the VOCs, the hydrogen sulfide, as an example. That's that rotten egg smell that you smell sometimes in some campgrounds.
Yeah.
It's formulated to take those types of things out of the water and give you very good quality, drinking quality of water overall. And that's through our inline filter. And we've built the rest of our business around that solid carbon. We've added in our pre-filter, which is the Dirt Guard you mentioned. That actually goes and works directly with the inline filter, and those two combined make a stage 1 and stage 2 type of filtration system that can be put outside on the spigot, so it's easy to manage, easy to use, and easy to store going down the road, especially for weekenders or people who are not out for long periods of time. It works very well for them and their RV lifestyle. But we also make a full line. We make that same solid carbon block in universal type filters, which are for canisters that are on board. And so we have both canisters and canister replacement filters that come in that same carbon as well. And again, you can get good, clean water in any way from Clear 2.0, just depending on what's best for you and your rig and what your design is set up to do.
Now, let me ask you, Keith, just so I understand. You said that you have the canisters for on board to replace the filters that come with the RV. But if I'm not mistaken, you have a canister system that you could set on the ground right outside of your RV and just hook into the water supply and then hook into your RV. Is that not correct?
That's correct. We make both the inline systems that go out on the hose, and then we also make a canister system in a stand, and we make those in 1, 2, and 3 canister sizes. And so that allows you to build your own stages and can be mounted either inside if you have enough room in your wet bay, or because it's on the stand, can be placed out on the ground. And that's what most people actually do, is they store it out on the ground because it's just easier to work around. And then you can put in any type of filter in there, depending on where you are and what you want to do. So we make specialty iron filters. For example, if you have a real problem with iron, we make a specialty filter for that type of water as well. So you can kind of pick and choose what works best for you.
All right. Well, I think you need to bring an extra one of those down to the Tampa RV show, which I know you will be at.
And we'll be interviewing you.
Yeah, Keith, you're going to be back on the RV Life podcast in a couple of weeks when we're down in
Tampa. Yeah, so we're going to talk all things. Now, Keith, you and your wife, Barbara, wonderful, wonderful people here. You have a booth in Tampa. Do you know your booth number off the top of your head?
Boy, you're really.
I do.
know. Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's in the B building, which actually is up near the front entrance, and its a booth number is B330, so aisle 300, booth 330.
Okay.
So now, is that the same place you were last year?
It is. It is. So if we've been there for about 4 or 5 years now, so if you've seen us in the past, we'll be in the same place.
Okay, so I believe I was in your booth last year. So your booth is right next to the RV Life Pro booth.
Oh, how
It's right,
That's correct.
right up
convenient.
That's correct.
right on the other side, like
Awesome.
behind the curtain.
Yes, that's awesome.
That's right. Just on the next aisle. That's
Just on the
correct.
next aisle
Great.
down.
So visit Keith and Barbara. They'll be in the booth. Now, I am going to put you on the spot again and ask if you have a discount for our RV Life podcast listeners.
Well, we do, because RV Life has been a really good partner to us over the years, and obviously through this podcast as well. So what we're offering is for the RV Life podcast listeners, 15% off, and it's going to be good from now until actually January 22nd, which is through the end of the Tampa Super Show. So if you see us at the show, you can use it online and get that discount as well. And all that you have to do is enter promo code RV Life Podcast and just go straight to our cleartool.com website to use that.
That's awesome. Thank you
And now,
so much.
Patty,
And-
do you know, I'm going to put you on the spot, Patty.
oh, gosh.
What day is Keith going to be a guest on the RV Life podcast from the Tampa Super Show?
Of course, I know that as I look at my calendar.
And while you're looking at that up on the calendar there, I'm going to say to our listeners, if you go over to Patty's and my website, which is
Friday.
Exploring Through Our Lens. Okay, if you go .com, if you go to our website, right up on the top, it says Tampa RV Show schedule. Well, guess what? We'll have the dates. We'll have his booth number on there. We all things Clear 2.0 you're going to be able to get to from
Right.
that website.
Yes.
And he'll be there Friday? you said?
Friday at 12:30. We will have Keith, who invented these products, just for our listeners to reiterate. You invented these products, and we are going to talk all things clean water, fresh, safe, taste, water that tastes good. So we are so looking forward
And if
to having you in Tampa.
If you are
I'm looking
at the
forward to it.
Tampa show, you're going to want to come see this, because I'm going to go over to Keith's booth before the show, and I'm going to get as much stuff as we can. So the people in the live studio audience may win something. I know I'm going to give t-shirts out that day. So I'll have a bunch of t-shirts to give out, but you'll also be able to see these products, touch them, and talk to Keith, the inventor of these products. How cool is that? Also, if you see Patty and I at the show, please come and say hi to us. Do not be afraid. We talked to some people last year that said, you were so busy, we were afraid to come up and talk to you. No. Our job is to talk to you, the RV Life podcast listener. And I will almost always be carrying around a blue bag that says Encore. From the Encore
From Thousand Trails.
Trails Encore. And in that bag, I am carrying t-shirts that I will be giving away. So if you come up to me and say, Dan, I heard your podcast and you said I could have a t-shirt, well, come to me and I will give you a t-shirt. But also you can come to the RV Life podcast taping, and we have features like the question of the week, and people may have questions, or we might not have enough stuff to say to Keith because we've talked to him all week. So we might let you ask Keith a question. So come on out to the show and see it. We'll be in the Freightliner booth right outside of the main building where Keith's booth is and the RV Life podcast booth is.
Well, Keith, we just want to thank you for taking the time, being on the show, helping me, especially with a fresh, clean tank. That has been amazing. And we can't wait to see you at the Tampa RV Show.
We're looking forward to it. And we'll be great to see you guys, and hopefully everybody will have a great show this year.
I'm sure they will. Take care.
Now that sound means it's time for this week's RV Life Pro Tip of the Week. And that is brought to you by RV Trip Wizard.
By default, RV Life Trip Wizard creates an RV safe route, keeping you clear of any low clearances. If you want to see all of those low clearances on your map, choose the Research tab, then the Hazards tab, and click the low clearance icon. If you see a low clearance on the map that you think is on your route, remember to zoom in all the way. You'll find that the low clearance warning is typically on a side road or underpass that is not on your direct route. If you've properly entered your RV information, you won't be routed somewhere you shouldn't be. Seeing the low clearance warnings might be handy for routes you are considering but haven't mapped yet, or help explain why you're being routed a certain way on the map. With your RV Life Pro tip of the week, I'm Pat Buchanan.
When traveling in your RV, how do you navigate? Do you use a paper map, a GPS, or do you use Google Maps? Our sponsor, RV Trip Wizard, has the solution, and it just works. Thank you, Patrick, first of all, for giving us the tip of the week. And as I was saying, it does just work. Dan and I do not move without using RV Trip Wizard.
Let me cut in here for 1 second. I just got to say, Pat Buchanan is one of the smartest guys I know. Now, he will be in the booth for the RV Super Show. You want to ask him questions if you have questions. He'll be in the booth. I think he's not going to be there the whole time, but he'll be there most of the time. But I learned something every single week on the RV Life podcast because he comes up with stuff that, well, some of it I know, but a lot of it I just don't know. And it's great. It's just absolutely great.
Yes. And like everything else on the podcast today, we also have a discount code. So go to the show notes to save 25% on the RV Life Pro suite of products. And you could go to the website and see all of what RV Life Pro includes, which is like campground reviews, amazing campground reviews. There's so much there. So go to the website and yes, 25% discount.
Wow,
it is
25%.
Absolutely, yes, worth it.
That's
and it'll all be in the show notes, and you could visit them at the Tampa RV Show. Wow, so much to cover today. But I do want to talk about a product. We kind of skipped over this a little bit, but I want to talk about something that while we don't use the product, we love the inventor. We love the company. We love the people. We have heard amazing things, and it is so needed for RVers.
We love this product so much that at the Hershey show, when the people that were covering the booth had to go to the bathroom or go to get something to eat, I'd go up and cover the booth for them because I love this product. Now this is not, this is a disclaimer. Normally we only take products on that we physically use. We do not physically use air skirts.
Okay. So we're talking about air skirts, and these are inflatable. If you haven't seen it, the best way, go to airskirts.com and look at what we're talking about. They look like inflatable torpedoes. And what they do is they fit under your RV, any size RV. They fit them for your specific size.
They custom make them for your RV.
They do custom make them, and they keep it insulated so they can reduce the temperature in your or increase the temperature in your RV, allow your heat to work more efficiently. They are great. Now, the reason Dan and I don't use them is because we chase the 70 to 80 degree weather. So we don't go extreme cold or extreme hot. It's our rule. But if we were going to be in the cold weather, I would absolutely recommend these. The company are people with amazing integrity. The person who invented them is just an amazing guy. Jim Phelan is an amazing human being, and so are the people that we've dealt with his company. And not only that, because we're out talking to people, we have met and spoken to people who really think these air skirts are a great product. So this is one product, and Jim is offering a discount. I will put the website and the discount code in the show notes. Dan and I highly recommend this product.
Highly, 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 highly recommend them. Just don't try to carry one of those when it's really windy.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
carrying one of those through the Hershey RV show when it was really, really windy, and it blew me and it away.
It was comical. It's a shame we didn't have video running. It was definitely comical. But there's other ways to save money, and fuel is a big thing for people, right? Diesel fuel.
Diesel fuel. And, this is the last discount we're going to give you
It's
on this show.
Yep.
And that's because it's free. Okay, the Open Roads Fuel Card is a free service that has saved us hundreds of dollars this year alone. It allows you to get diesel fuel at truck stops and utilize the power of group purchasing to save money.
Now, as we have driven around, I could sit there and go on my app to the Open Roads app.
Mind you, wait. When she says that, when we have driven around,
yes,
it's Dan driving, Patty sits in the passenger seat. So,
and there it is. Nothing scripted on this show.
Nothing scripted on this show.
So as Dan is driving, I am the chief operation officer and navigator, and I get on my Open Roads app, and I can find the truck stop and see exactly how much money I am going to save on fuel. As Dan said, this card is absolutely free, so you don't need a discount code. It is amazing.
Now, if you like saving money, you can't afford not to have the Open Roads Fuel Card. They do have a booth in the Tampa Super Show. And as a matter of fact, the owners of the company or the principals of the company will be guests on the podcast that we are going to be taping live from the Tampa Super Show.
They're going to be on Thursday with us live at 12:30. You could come ask them questions. You could hear them talk about, the fuel card, any questions you might have. Dan and I just know we save money on fuel. That's good enough for us.
Now, you know how much we like this. They weren't sponsors. They weren't anything when we bought this. We didn't even have an RV. God's honest truth, I got the Open Roads Fuel Card before I got our RV. So we love this company. We love the process. They have the fuel card. They have the toll solutions. I'm telling you, these people have figured out what we need as RVers. Now, remember, you can find out all about the Tampa Super Show, what we are doing, all of our guests, when they're going to be, our interview schedule. You can find all of that at exploringthroughourlens.com. There's going to be a link to that in the show notes. We're going to link you right to the page that you can get the schedule for what we're doing. And you'll also see we have a golf cart, and it's all, it says RV Life Podcast, and it's got a barcode on it so you can get to our webpage. But if you see us at the Tampa Super Show, please, 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 please come and say hi. We love to talk with our listeners. Tell us a story. Tell us how you heard about the RV Life podcast. Tell us what you think. Good, bad, indifferent. Doesn't really matter, but we want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everything you need. I'm going to have a lot of show notes to be writing. Like Dan said, show notes, our website, it'll all be there.
Don't forget the Instagram page. Don't forget the Facebook page. Oh, yes.
Instagram and Facebook, RV Life Podcast. Let us know if you're going to be at the show.
Let us know, because we want to see you. I want to give you a t-shirt. I designed these new t-shirts, and I want to give them out. I want people to wear our t-shirts. You're listening to the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt, reminding you to have a great rest of today.
And an even better day tomorrow.